Welcome to Best Buds Gardening. I'm Julie. Today, let's learn how to grow tomatoes, seed to harvest. When do we start our tomato seeds? About 4 to 6 weeks before our last frost date. We'll start the process off by germinating some tomato seeds in a damp paper towel inside a baggie so they don't dry out. These particular seeds are purple Cherokee. That is an indeterminate tomato plant. That means it's going to keep growing and growing and growing and producing tomatoes until frost hits it. Into the baggie, and we wait for a couple of days. Keep this baggie someplace about 75 degrees. Next, I have some cups that you can either fill with compost or pre-moistened starting mix, and make sure there's drainage holes on the bottom. I'm going to make some teeny tiny holes in the cups. Tomato seeds aren't very big, and we don't want to plant them too deeply. And then I'm going to put these in the holes. These are celebrity tomato seeds. Celebrity is a determinate type of tomato plant, but it also does keep producing tomatoes until frost hits, so I really like celebrity tomato plants. Into the little hole it goes, and then I'm just lightly going to cover them up. Continue to keep them someplace about 75 degrees, and as always, don't forget to keep them watered. A few days later, here are our little tomato plants up out of the soil. Here they are about a week after that. And here they are about a week after that. Tomato plants grow so fast. In fact, they grow so fast that sometimes we have to transplant them into bigger containers before warm weather is actually arrived outside. If you have to do that, some 2-liter soda bottles cut down a little bit work wonderfully. Just remember to make drainage holes in the bottom. It's extremely tempting to put your tomato plants in the ground before your average last frost date, especially if the weather's been nice. But please don't do it. Tomatoes don't like those chilly, early spring mornings. You really want to wait until the days are around 75 degrees and the nights are 45 degrees or above. Once that day has arrived and you've properly hardened off your tomato plant, it's time to go ahead and put him in his permanent home. Now, this is one of our celebrities. I would not recommend trying to grow an indeterminate plant in a container, but you can grow a celebrity or any other determinate plant in a container just fine. And you can bury your tomato a little bit deeper than it was originally in the cup, because tomatoes are beautiful in the way they will just grow roots at every part of them that's underground. I know that looks pretty windy, but this is Kansas and it always looks like that. Don't forget to give your tomato plant a nice drink of water to set it in. If you're going to grow the big boy indeterminates, make sure that you get those tomato cages in the ground at the same time you plant your tomatoes. That way you won't damage the roots. Here are our Cherokee purples on May 12th. Here they are on June 4th, June 11th, and July 2nd. And now here they are, just about as tall as a Sasquatch. They will probably be pulling the cages down before too much longer. But let's talk about those first baby tomatoes. If the temperatures aren't over 75 at night and aren't over 95 degrees in the daytime, you will have little baby tomatoes. You don't need to pollinate them. You don't need bees. They are pollinated by wind. Or if you want to give your tomato plant a little gentle shake, that doesn't hurt things out either. Tomatoes are heavy feeders, so shoot them some fertilizer at this point about once a week. And you might notice some cracking on your tomatoes, especially around the top. This doesn't hurt the tomato at all. The reason for this is the inside of the tomato is growing faster than the outside. This usually occurs after a heavy rain or inconsistent watering. The tomato will be just fine. Obviously, you can let a tomato ripen on the vine. But if cold weather is coming, frost is coming in, you can pick mature green tomatoes and bring them in. They will ripen just fine at room temperature on the counter somewhere. One final word on growing tomatoes. Always wash your hands after handling tobacco products before coming around tomato plants. Tobacco mosaic virus spreads just as easily in plants as COVID does in humans, and tobacco mosaic virus adores tomato plants. Okay, I think you're well on your way. Happy tomato growing. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's free and you won't miss a thing.